Imagine your life if you had no freedom. Imagine if all doors were locked, you were confined by gates, and you were constantly being monitored by staff. Imagine if the design of the house meant you couldn't access all areas and if the location of the house endangered residents. Imagine if your home was not personalised to you. Imagine if all the walls were blank, your room was generic, and there was no personal possessions. For many people living in group homes, this is the case. Often, these homes are not permanent and people are not given the opportunity to personalise the way they want to. The lack of personalisation can lead to residents feeling like intruders in their own homes and being uncomfortable in their day-to-day life. Imagine if you had no choice. Imagine if you had no say in how your money was spent. In fact, imagine if you earned more than 50% less than the average working Australian. Imagine if you had no choice in your schedule for the day. People living in group homes often do not have the choice in what activities they do on a daily basis, and they have a rigid schedule that is enforced by staff. Imagine if you had no control over the support staff who worked with you. This is a reality for many people living in group homes. Feeling of imprisonment and entrapment are common, and this can lead to depression and anxiety. When people are restricted in all aspects of their lives, they can experience many of the 18 wounds, as they lose control, lose autonomy, and become vulnerable. As a result of these negative housing experiences and barriers, individuals can experience more negative health outcomes. This can include an increased rate of mental health problems, including depression and anxiety, obesity, high blood pressure, stroke, diabetes, heart disease, and even an increased risk of premature death. Now imagine living in a home, not just a shelter, but also a place where you can have privacy, where you can be with those that you love, where you belong. Imagine being free within your home, being able to access all areas freely and not feel locked up. Imagine if you were not confined to one area and didn't have staff watching your every move. Individuals need to have this independence to create and promote individual rights to freedom of expression, self-determination, and decision-making. Imagine if you had choice. Imagine living in a home where staff promote and facilitate the participation and inclusion in activities that are important and meaningful to you, give you direction and meaning in life, and are able to build on individual strengths and enable you to reach their goals. Imagine if your house was personalised. Personalisation is the act of tailoring the site to the needs and wants of the individual. What if you could decorate and modify your house and rooms to the way you wanted? Having the ability to personalise your rooms and house the way you like can go a long way in developing a comfortable home environment that can increase participation and engagement. The social model has been an important development in the lives of those who experience a disability, including the case of housing. It shows how systematic processes and perspectives can impact people who experience a disability. The social model aims to eliminate barriers and enable people who experience a disability to have their deserved place within society. Factors such as limited housing availability, high demand, resource allocation are barriers that can lead to this group of individuals not having housing that is positively suited to their needs. The social model brings awareness to how house ownership can lead to better control, security, privacy, and choice. However, the barriers they face often restrict their access. These barriers include physical, financial, locational, and communicational barriers. Most significantly, the social model emphasises that these barriers are not created by individuals who experience a disability, but the social exclusion led by society. Then there is the individual model. The individual model believed that there was something wrong with the people with disabilities and that the person must change rather than society. This model was very deficit focused and had little recognition of the barriers that impacted a person, such as that of housing. People with disabilities were not empowered to make their own decisions. Instead, they were offered a place in institutions and hidden from society, which did not enable the right of choosing a home that is meaningful to them. Society would neglect someone's personal experience and offer limited opportunities for participation in the community. Society viewed people with disabilities as a burden, and therefore when living in an institution they were denied the right to work, to create meaningful relationships, to have education, to participate in the community, and have choice about healthcare services they would receive, or where they wanted to live and how they wanted to live. It is evident that the experience of people who experience disabilities have often been neglected when it comes to considering the meaning of home. It is clear that a positive housing experience can help create a more positive lifestyle and lead to positive health and well-being. Between the two houses that you've just viewed, which one would you rather live in?